Good morning. Good afternoon, students. Today's topic is Introduction to Tenses. I am Mrs. Hiral Gaud from Parul Polytechnic Institute. We are here to study about tenses. Tenses is the basic thing which we already know in the earlier classes. But today we will be studying in the introduction part of tenses. Let us start with the introduction of tenses. As according to tenses, you always know what are tenses. Tenses describe an action along with its time. Now please read the sentence carefully. Tenses describe an action. Action, did you understand this? Action is nothing but a verb. Verb etle kriyapad. So this action, you should always know that tenses are somewhere determining the action of a verb. And also the second part of the sentence says along with its time. Now let us understand how this time comes into picture. Time can be of three types: present, today, current time. This is the first basic tense which we are going to start. Present tense, that is the simple present tense which we call Vartman Kal. Next is the past tense. Things which has been already done. Things which has been already done in the past. Things which is to just remember. The time has gone. That is the past tense. Bhoot Kal. Coming to the future tense. Things which has to be done in the future. Future is not predicted. Present, then past and future. So there are basically three types of tenses. On those three types of tenses, now we can classify the tenses into again four types. Let us see which are those four types of tenses. The first type of tenses is simple tenses. Simple tenses of again three types, that is simple present tense, simple past tense and simple future tense. Coming to continuous tense, Chalu Kal. Simple present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous tense. Next is the perfect tense. Perfect tense is that tense wherein the things, the actions and the situation has already been done. That is the perfect tense. Present perfect tense, past perfect tense and future perfect tense. And the next part, the last one, is perfect continuous tense. The things has been done in the past, perfectly done, but still it continues along the time period. So it is called as perfect continuous tense. Likewise, present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. Thus, we have three basic tenses and four types of classified tenses. So 3 into 4, total 12 types of tenses. Yes, we are going to have an introductory part of all 12 types of tenses. Before we start with the tenses part, I want you to understand about three types of person, which is called as the first person, Pehlo Purush, I. I becomes the first person. The second person is you, we and they. You, we and they. So that becomes the second person. If we talk about the third person is nothing but he, she and it. It can be Raman, it can be Mona, it can be any other person also. Therefore, first, second and third person. According to these persons, the verb form changes. Along with that, the tense also changes. Is that clear? Let us start with the simple present tense. The form in which simple present tense is being placed, we are here going to learn three blocks of tenses. Correct. First will be affirmative sentences. Affirmative sentences are nothing but hakaratmak vakyo. Is that clear? Affirmative sentences. Then comes the negative sentences. The table will be of negative sentences. Negative is nothing but nakaratmak vakyon. And the last part of the table will consist of interrogative or question types of tenses, the table. In present tense, we form the simple present tense with a main verb. Mukhya kriyapad sathe we will form the simple present tense with s or es. And in interrogative and negative sentences, we use do or does plus not and the main verb. Can you see this? We should have do, does plus not plus the main verb. Now, before I start with the main types of tenses, I will now tell you about the contracted form. Now understand, do plus not is equal to don't. Does plus not will become doesn't. Similarly, you can have many more words, and when you join those words with a not, you always can form a contracted forms. Like we can see the don't, like we can see the doesn't. Similarly, you also have haven't, hasn't, hadn't, weren't, won't, etc. Have not is haven't, has not is hasn't, had not is hadn't. Are you clear with the contracted forms now? So whenever you make a negative sentence, you can also use the contracted forms of the negative sentences. Now, let us see the first table of simple present tense. Students, you need to note down these tables. You can see on the blue, that is I, you, we and they. I stands for which person? The first person. Correct. With first and the second person, that is you, we and they. First and the second person together will go with the verb go. It will not have any s or es. But with the third person, that is he, she and it, the verb go is containing es. Now instead of this word go, we can also have many other verbs like play, run, walk, talk, etc. I and you, we, they, that is first and second person will have only the verb, that is I play, you play, we play, etc. But if we talk about the third person, he plays. Here play will have an s as an addition. Is that clear? Like we have es with go, we have only s with play. So this was just an example where you can have an s with the verb. These are the few examples of affirmative or hakaratmak vakyo. Coming to the second part of the table, this is negative sentences. How you can make negative sentences? First and second person, you should always use a do. Now can you see that? Do not. What you can use in a contracted form? You can also use don't. I, you, we, they. I do not go. You do not go. We do not go. They do not go. Instead, we can also say I don't go to school today. Is that clear? Similarly, he, she, it doesn't go. Okay, or does not go. Now we can go for the next table. Here the question mark table, or this is an interrogative sentences. We have already learnt about positive sentences or affirmative sentences. Now negative sentences also we have done. This table is about question or interrogative sentences. Do I, you, we, they go? Does he, she, it go? Now look, do I go? You get an answer, yes, I go. Does he go? You get an answer, he does goes. Is that clear? Therefore, whenever you want to use a question mark, we can also use, we should use with first and second person do, and with the third person you should use does. Is that clear, everyone? So these were the table of simple present tense. Coming to the example, this tense used to describe actions which take place in present. Vartaman kaળમાં થયેલા actions, to describe the actions in the present tense. Okay, but no definite time is given. You can see that it has to be a subject plus verb, and then along with verb you can use an s or es. The examples written are: Suresh writes neatly. Suresh being the third person, we should use writes neatly. Mona plays football. Now instead of say Mona, if you use I, then I play football. Correct. I becomes the first person, and along with the first person, verb will have the same form. I play football. Is that clear with the present tense? Now let us move with the past tense, the simple past tense. Okay, this form is very easy. If you have gone through the first part, that is the present tense, the past tense is very easy compared to the present tense. Only the past form of verb is used. Now past form of verb, how we can use? We can form a simple past tense by using the past form of verb. Please see the table. Now, earlier table we had the verb go, correct? The past form of go is went. I, you, we, they went to the market. I or you, we, they, first and the second person, went to the market. Similarly, he, she, it went to the market. Is that clear? So that is went to the market. Coming to the next slide, these are the negative sentences. Instead of using do or does, which we were using in the first part, that is the present tense, here we are going to use only did. What are we going to use? Did. I, you, we, they. First and the second person with did not go. Instead of did not, what can be used? Didn't go to the market. He, she, it didn't go to the market. Is that clear? So instead of do and does, what can be used? Only did. Now, coming to the question or interrogative sentences. Did I go to the market? Did we go to the market? Did they go to the market? Similarly, did he go to the market? Did she go to the market? And did it? Is that clear? Here it becomes a common and a very simplified module. Only the verb go changes to went and do and does changes to did. So this is a very simple part, that is a simple past tense. Okay, now there is a bit of exercise or examples like, hi Rahul, where were you yesterday? Answer is, I went to my village. Did you enjoy? This is the question. Did you enjoy? Oh, I enjoyed so much that I didn't want to return. Is that clear? Simple past tense describes an action that took place at a time in the past. Subject plus verb to. That is the underlined one. See this were, then went, enjoyed, did. All these words are simple past words. Okay. Next one is the simple future tense. We all know that present is Vartman, past is Bhutkar, coming to the future tense, that is our Bhavishyakar. Now, form. We can form simple future tense with will or shall. Will or shall plus the main form of the verb. You can use either will or shall. Becomes very easy when we use will or shall. Affirmative sentences. This table, I, you, we, they. The first and the second person plus shall, will, and then the verb go. Similarly, the third person shall and will and go. You can either use shall or you can use a will. I will go, you shall go, they will go, or he shall go. Everything is correct, right? Coming to the next slide, the slide shows the negative sentences. Shall not is nothing but shan't. I shall not go. You shall not go. or you will not go. Either shall or will is used in the negative sentences also with the negative word not. Right? Coming to the interrogative and question mark sentences. Question mark or interrogative sentences will have a question which will start with shall or will. Shall I go to the market? Shall you go to the market? Shall they go to the market? Etc. Similarly, shall he go to the market? Will he go to the market? Etc. Correct? Coming to the future tense. You can see very well on the slides that side. Let's go to the hill station next week. It will be very cold. The snow is going to fall there. Are your friends also going somewhere? Yes, all my friends will go out of the town. Simple future describes an action which will take place at the time in future. If you cannot read this, please read it carefully. Subject plus will plus shall plus the verb one. Example is I shall play in the evening. Here the shall is again a modal auxiliary which is showing you the mood which is called as intention. Intentionally, I shall play in the evening. Correct. Brazil will win the match. Here the intention, the mood is prediction. This has been predicted. Now please remember, shall and will are also modal auxiliaries and they will have different moods. In the earlier case where I shall play in the evening, shall shows the intention. And in the second example, Brazil will win the match, this will shows a prediction. Is that clear? So there is two parts, intention and prediction. Next one, present continuous tense. Now, as we have seen the basic three types of tenses, simple present, simple past and simple future. Let us start with the second major part which is the continuous tense. आने कहवाय चालू काल. वर्तमान सादो वर्तमान काल सीखी गया. Now let us start with चालू वर्तमान काल. We form the present continuous tense with is